Hello everyone and welcome back. Now that you've had a chance to see the recoil difference between 223 and 7.62x51, we're going to take a look at their downrange effectiveness. We'll start by shooting steel at 200 yards and then shoot 5-gallon water jugs at 300. Once we shoot the steel, we'll take a quick look at the speed and energy numbers and then come right back out here to shoot the water jugs. The ammo that we will mainly be focusing on is bulk ammo. I wanted to see what each of these calibers can deliver in a worst-case scenario when all of your best ammo has already been used up. That is why we will use 223 55-grain full metal jacket and 7.62x51 147-grain ball as our main focus. Please remember that when shooting steel, it does provide an indication of downrange energy, but it mainly reveals the momentum that a bullet carries with it. Momentum is certainly one part of a bullet's effectiveness, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Another big part of the story is a bullet's ability to cause hydrostatic damage, hence the water jugs. In other words, when you see the impacts on steel, don't get too excited one way or the other. Wait until you see the water jug test and then combine those results to get a better picture of what each can do. We're getting ready to shoot at this steel target from a distance of 200 yards using 223. The ammunition will be the 55-grain full metal jacket by PMC. The rifle will be an AR-15 with an 18-inch barrel. We'll be shooting at this steel target from a distance of 200 yards using 7.62x51. The ammunition will be the 147-grain NATO ball by Magtech. The rifle will be the Ruger SFAR 16-inch barrel. I have chronographed these rounds off of camera, and here are the numbers at the muzzle. On the left, the 223 55-grain Winchester White Box had a 5-shot average of 3,024 feet per second, which translates into 1,116 foot-pounds of energy. The 7.62x51 147-grain ball had a 5-shot average of 2,610 feet per second, translating into 2,223 foot-pounds of energy. On the one hand, the 223 has 16% more speed, whereas the 762 by 51 has double the energy numbers, or 200% more, however you prefer to label it. Now for the numbers that matter the most. How much speed and energy will these bullets still have at 300 yards when impacting the water jugs? As you can see, they both slow down, but the 223 slow down at a greater rate, and therefore it is no longer 16% faster. It is only 17 feet per second faster. That's less than 1%. That is about as close as I could make it to perfectly even speed, so that we can see what each bullet can do when speed is not in the equation. Also notice that the 762 by 51 is no longer 200% more energy. It now has 262% more energy. In addition to testing when speed is not in the equation, we will also be testing with speed back in the mix. We won't just be shooting the water jugs with the 2 bullets on the left. We will also use another kind of bulk ammo, and that would be the 5.56 62 grain green tip that you now see on the right. At 300 yards, the green tip will arrive with 6.4% more speed than the 7.62 by 51, and it will do so with a bullet that is 12.7% heavier than the 55 grain. We'll be shooting at this water jug from a distance of 300 yards using 223. The ammunition will be the 55 grain full metal jacket from Winchester. The rifle will be an AR-15 18-inch barrel, 1 8 twist. Well, I'm walking up right now to that 5-gallon water jug that was just hit at a distance of 300 yards using 223, full metal jacket, just some Winchester white box. It looks like I was a little bit high. Maybe, I don't know, 3 inches high on this. I was aiming right about there. Maybe about 3 inches high, 4, maybe 5 inches to the left. So not exactly perfect shot placement. If we kind of just set this thing right back on there, you can almost see the impact spot right there. Let's look at the back side. On the back, it looks like more or less the bullet was just a circular hole coming out of there. I can't really tell that was tumbling or not. But at any rate, there's your damage at 300 yards. We'll be shooting at this water jug from a distance of 300 yards using 7.62 by 51. The ammunition will be the 147 grain NATO ball by Magtech. Well, we're walking up right now to the 5-gallon water jug that was just hit at a distance of 300 yards using 7.62 by 51, 147 grain NATO ball by Magtech. As far as the shot placement, we were probably a little bit left of center, but at 300 yards in bulk ammo. We'll take that any day of the week. As far as the water jug, it looks like it's pretty well mangled. It would appear that the bullet probably just ripped right through the whole thing, went right out the back, right there. No damage to the bottom, just some hydrostatic damage all along the side. And the top of it was almost blown completely off. The top is just, I mean, talk about literally hanging by a thread. Yeah, the top is just literally hanging by a thread at this point. We'll be shooting at this water jug from a distance of 300 yards using 5.56. The ammunition will be the 62 grain green tip from PMC, also known as the PMC X-Tac. Well, I'm walking up right now to the 5-gallon water jug that was just hit at a distance of 300 yards using 5.56 62 grain PMC X-Tac, also known as the green tip bullet. It would appear that I hit just a little bit high. I was about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter above paper. That's the entrance hole right there, I do believe. Not much to really see here. I mean, it blew the top right off of it, obviously. On the back side, somewhat of an exit right there. There was a handle on this thing at one point. That handle is gone. I don't know if there's any bullet fragments in there or not. I'll look a little bit off camera and see if I can find any. This is the exact moment of impact on the 55 grain full metal jacket before zooming in, also known as frame 1. And this is frame 1 now that we have zoomed in, and you can see the temporary body cavity starting to form, which looks like a bright white spark. In frame 2, the temporary body cavity is growing and starting to resemble the size of a football. And here in frame 6, we see the apex of the explosion. And here is the exact moment of impact with the 7.62 2x51 before zooming in. And here is frame 1 now that we have zoomed in. Just to the left of the orange sticker is where the temporary body cavity begins. And in frames 2 and 3, it also takes on the shape of a football, just like the 55 grain did, only larger. And here in frame 4, we see the apex of the explosion. Here is the exact moment of impact with the 5.56 62 grain green tip before zooming in. And here is frame 1 now that we have zoomed in. While it may be difficult to spot the temporary body cavity, it is clear to see that the top half of the water jug is being completely severed. In frame 2, the explosion has begun. Then, skipping ahead to frame 4, we see the apex of the explosion. In fact, we see the epitome of what hydrostatic damage does. In a nutshell, it turns everything upside down and inside out.